Some jokes are harmless, but mine changed everything. Yesterday I laughed and asked her, do you want to move in with me? It was a joke, just a way to make her smile, but this morning she stood at my door with a suitcase, her eyes red from crying all night, her voice shaking as she whispered, "Is your offer still good?" That was the moment I realized it wasn't a joke to her. It was her last hope. And what happened next changed both of our lives in a way neither of us saw coming. It started on one of those evenings when life feels heavier than usual. The office was loud, deadlines were crazy, and everyone seemed frustrated except Maya, who always carried a smile even when her world was falling apart. After work, we went to our usual spot, a tiny cafe with flickering lights and cheap coffee that somehow tasted perfect when you were tired as soon as we sat down. Maya sighed the deepest sigh I'd ever heard. She told me her landlord had raised the rent again, her roommate was partying every night, and she was barely sleeping. She looked worn emotionally, mentally, physically, her hands wrapped around the coffee cup like she was trying to warm herself from the inside, trying to lighten the mood. I smiled and said, "Why don't you just move in with me? Seriously, I've got an empty room. It's quiet, safe, no crazy roommates except maybe me." She laughed, rolled her eyes, and hit my arm playfully. "Oh please, you wouldn't last one day living with me," she joked. We both laughed. It felt light, harmless, like a moment between two people who trusted each other. But behind her laughter, I missed something, a flicker in her eyes, a quiet fear, a truth she wasn't ready to say. The next morning I woke up to the sound of urgent knocking. At first I thought it was a neighbor or a delivery, but when I opened the door, my heart nearly stopped. There she was, Maya, standing on my doorstep with a suitcase almost as tall as she was. Her hair was messy, her clothes wrinkled, and her eyes were swollen from crying. Is your offer still good?" she whispered. I froze. "My offer? You all mean move in?" "Maya, that was a joke." Her voice cracked before I finished. I know it was a joke, but I didn't know where else to go." She told me everything in shaky sentences, how her roommate got drunk, screamed at her, broke things, and almost shoved her during a fight with someone she brought home. Maya locked herself in the bathroom until morning, terrified to come out. "I just needed somewhere safe," she said, wiping her face with her sleeve. "Just for a night or two, I'll figure things out." My heart sank. I stepped back and opened the door wide. "Come in, Maya. You're safe here. Stay as long as you need." In that moment, the joke died. Only reality remained. It was much heavier than I imagined. The first few days felt strange to people suddenly sharing a space, trying not to bump into each other, apologizing for everything. Maya was extra careful, cleaning more than she needed to, keeping her voice low, asking before touching anything. She treated my apartment like a museum, but slowly, life adjusted. One night, I came home to the smell of homemade pasta. Another day, she surprised me with a cup of tea before my morning meeting. I started hearing her laugh more, especially when we watched terrible comedy shows. She'd leave tiny handwritten notes on the fridge. "Good morning. You forgot your lunch again. Don't stress, your presentation will be great." The house felt different, warmer, lighter. One evening while cooking together, she said quietly, "You know, I haven't felt this relaxed in years. I didn't know silence could feel safe." That sentence hit me hard. I realized I had stopped rushing home to rest. I rushed home to her, but I kept reminding myself she was healing, rebuilding, trying to breathe again. It wasn't about love, not yet. Still, every day the space between us felt less like distance, seemed more like a beginning. A week after she moved in, Maya received a text. I saw her staring at her phone, face draining of color. "What's wrong?" I asked. She handed it to me. 3 words flashed on the screen. "Come, get out." Her roommate wasn't asking, she was threatening. We rushed to her old apartment. The moment we arrived, Maya froze in shock. Her belongings, clothes, books, artwork, everything meaningful were thrown outside like garbage. Wind scattered her sketches across the pavement. A box of childhood photos was lying open, half crushed. She knelt down silently and picked up a torn drawing, one she had spent hours on. Her hands shook violently. These are years of my life," she whispered. "How can someone just throw it all away?" Seeing her like that broke something inside me. Without thinking, I knelt beside her. "We'll take everything we can," I said softly, "and whatever's broken, we'll fix it. Together." We gathered every piece, every torn paper, every damaged memory, and loaded them into my car. She cried quietly the entire ride back, clutching a box of old photos to her chest. That night, she wasn't just someone who needed help. She was someone I wanted to protect, not because she was weak, but because she had been strong alone for too long. That night felt heavier than the others. After hours of picking her belongings off the street, after watching her memories scattered like trash and treating each broken item like something sacred, we finally sat down. The apartment was quiet, the kind of quiet that forces truth out of you. Maya curled up on the couch, wrapped tightly in one of my blankets like she was trying to hold herself together. The soft lamplight hit her face, revealing exhaustion, layered on exhaustion, but also something else, mething like hope, fighting to stay alive. "I'm really sorry," she said, staring down at her hands. "I didn't want to bring all this mess into your life. You didn't sign up for any of this, Maya, I said gently. You're not bringing mess. You're bringing yourself. And that's not a problem. She shook her head slowly. But I've already taken too much space. I should have left days ago. I should be looking for a new place instead of staying here. Like her voice cracked. Like I belong. I moved closer, not touching her yet, just sitting near enough that she could feel I wasn't leaving. You do belong, I said softly. She looked up at me with wide, vulnerable eyes, the kind that only look that way when a person has spent too long pretending to be strong. But your offer, she whispered, the one you made as a joke, is it still good? Not for tonight. Not for safety, I mean. For real, if I ask to stay, will you let me? Will you want me here? Her words hung in the air, fragile, honest, scared. In that moment, everything inside me clicked. The quiet dinners, the shared laughter, the way the house felt different when she was inside it. I realized I didn't just want her to stay because she needed a place. I wanted her to stay because my life felt incomplete without her. I reached out and held her hand. She didn't pull away, she held it like she'd been waiting for someone to finally offer warmth she didn't have to earn. Maya, I said, voice steady, that offer might have started as a joke, but right now it's the most real thing I've ever said. Stay not because you have nowhere to go. Stay because this is your home now too. Stay as long as your heart wants to. Tears streamed down her face, but they were soft, relieved. She leaned into me, resting her head on my shoulder. Then maybe, she whispered, I'm finally where I was always meant to be. And that was the moment a joke became a promise. A room became a home, and two lives quietly began to fit together.